All right, everybody. So we have the Constitution written, finalized in 1787, but that is not the end, everybody. That is not the end. That is actually only the beginning, because now we have to go through the ratification process, and it's going to take 9 of the 13 states to approve it for it to go into effect. That's a lot, you guys. That's a lot. So let the debate begin. Of course, what would America be without a good old-fashioned debate, right? So you had two sides in this debate, guys. You had on the one side, you had the Federalists who supported the ratification of the Constitution, and then you had on the other side the Anti-Federalists who opposed the ratification of the Constitution. So let's go through a few slides and break this down a little bit further in some more detail here. Both sides had their papers that they wrote. On the one side, you had the Federalist Papers. They were a collection of 85 essays written by Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay in favor of the Constitution. And then you had the Anti-Federalist Papers, written by numerous anonymous authors over a period of several years, expressing concerns and arguments against the Constitution. All right, so there's the two sides, the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. Let's break it down a little bit more in detail here, guys. The Federalists published a series of essays to convince others to support the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. The Federalists advocated for these things. Again, these are just a few of the things, but I'll highlight a few of them here. They argued for national taxation to fund the central government, a standing army for a strong national defense, and a strong central government with checks and balances. Those are some of the key points that the Federalists argued for in favor of the Constitution. Of course, on the other side, you had the Anti-Federalists, right? Those who expressed concern about the Constitution. It says the Anti-Federalists also published their concerns relating to the shift of power from state governments to a strong central government. Their concerns included national taxation becoming repressive, the use of a standing army against their own citizens, establishing a balance of power between national and state governments. So, yeah, those are concerns that the Anti-Federalists had regarding the Constitution. And then I have one last slide I want to go over where I break it down into a chart. And I'll say this, for those of you in class, we will go into more detail on this, but suffice it for now, I think, just to give you kind of a basic breakdown of the two sides, what was the difference. The Federalists basically, guys, they desired a stronger central government. I mean, one of the issues with the Articles of Confederation that the national government was very, very weak. So the Federalists, desired a strong national government. The Anti-Federalists believed in more power to the state government. Guys, very, very interesting here. And this debate really is a current debate, guys, right? How do we strike a balance? Even today, if you look at national arguments today, one of the big ones is how do you strike a balance between the power of the national government and the power of the state governments, right? So that's still an ongoing issue. And it certainly was back in the day when the Constitution was initially written. The key leaders on the Federalist side, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, John Jay. Of course, those are the three people that wrote the Federalist Papers. You also had George Washington, Ben Franklin. They would have been Federalists. On the Anti-Federalist side, you had John Hancock, Richard Henry Lee, Patrick Henry, Thomas Jefferson. Okay, some pretty familiar names there as well. Of course, the Federalists, they favored the Constitution. The Anti-Federalists favored the Articles of Confederation. On the Federalist side, they didn't believe that a Bill of Rights was necessary. They felt the Constitution was good the way it was. The Anti-Federalists, they adamantly argued for a Bill of Rights. And I would probably say that is probably the number one thing they argued overall. They adamantly believed that there needed to be something more to safeguard people from government, and so they argued for a Bill of Rights. The Federalists had more of their support in urban areas, and then the Anti-Federalist support came more from rural areas. So needless to say, you guys, you obviously know who won the debate. I mean, certainly the Federalists won the debate because obviously the Constitution was ratified. It was ratified in 1788, and it needed at least 9 of the states initially to ratify it. Eventually, they all did. But yeah, so it was ratified in 1788, and so really since then, it has been the supreme law of the land up to the present day. So yeah, they won the debate, but let's not, guys, let's not think that the anti-federalists came up with nothing here. One of the major contributions that they made to this entire argument was the inclusion of the Bill of Rights. Yes, the inclusion of the Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution were actually ratified in 1791. So early on, those first 10 amendments were added to the Constitution. That was a major sticking point. And the anti-federalists, hey, they won that battle, right? They may have lost the war, but they won the battle. And yeah, so I think, kind of in wrapping up, guys, I think one of the powerful things that we have in our country today, and that I believe that we've always had, is open political debate. And I think one of the advantages of having open political debate is this right here. The Federalist, anti-Federalist debate allowed the country to kind of flesh out the issues, if you will, and kind of raise the issues and the concerns on both sides. And in the end, it gave rise to a consensus. And so you had, yes, we passed the Constitution, but on the other hand, the side that, quote, didn't win out, the anti-federalists, they did get some of their things included as well. So having open political debate is very crucial to any democratic society. I think it's one of the powerful things that we've had in our country from its history, from its very beginning, really. And this is a good example of that, right? From the very beginning of our country, we've had open political debate. And I think that's very critical. So anyways, again, I'll say this. Hey, for those of you that are in class, we are going to go through a graphic organizer that is going to highlight the differences between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists in a very brief, succinct manner that's going to separate the issues and allow you to really separate the two sides and their ideas. So we'll go through that in class. For those of you that, again, are viewing this video and are not in class, I would encourage you to look these papers up, you guys. The Federalist Papers, the Anti-Federalist Papers are absolutely critical. Wow, guys, absolutely critical to any study of American history. You need to understand this because it deals with the whole process of how the Constitution got ratified and got put into place. So you need to understand that. So yeah, if you're not in class, go ahead and check this out and read these. And I think you'll find some very interesting points that you will be able to make some connections to issues that are still going on today that continue to get raised. So yeah, so have a good time with that. Enjoy that. If you're in class, I will see you back and we will break this down further, okay? See you later. Bye.